Hello, my dear students. Myself Sheikh Gulnaz. Now I am here with the topic of Asia, a land of contrast, part 2. In the last video, students, we have learned the location, extent, physical setting of Asia, regional divisions of Asia, that is East Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Southwest Asia, Central Asia, and also physiography of Asia, that is major divisions like southwestern, northwestern lowlands, the central highlands, the southern plateaus, the great plains of rivers, the islands groups, the island festoons are. So we have studied in the last class. Now let us discuss further about this topic, the major rivers and agricultures which are there in Asia. Students, rivers of Asia. Asia is a land of mighty rivers. Physical features and surrounding water bodies are affected by river system of this continent. Asia is surrounded by the Arctic, the Pacific and the Indian Oceans. The majority of rivers this continent flow into any of these three oceans. Thus the rivers of Asia can be divided into four groups. Students, you know what? We have three sides. For in Asia continent, we can see three side water is there, only one side land is there. That means the surrounding water bodies is of oceans like Pacific, Arctic and the Indian Ocean is surrounding the India, and that means Asia. So the majority of rivers of this continent flow into any of these three whichever rivers those are flowing in the Asia continents, that will the tributaries of that will join these oceans like the bigger oceans like Arctic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. Thus the rivers of Asia can be divided into four groups. Now let us discuss about how they have been divided, on which basis. First, Indian Ocean river system. The Indian Ocean river system, here the major rivers of this group is the Tigris and Euphrates of Syria and Iraq, flow into the Persian Gulf. The Sindhu, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra of India and Pakistan rises in the Himalayas and flows southward into the Indian Ocean. Rivers Sitang, Salween and Irrawaddy of Myanmar flow into the Bay of Bengal. These are the small rivers and tributaries which will join to the Indian Oceans. The major of these groups are Tigris and Euphrates of Syria and Iraq. These are the river students and flow into the Persian Gulf. They flow into Persian Gulf, and the Sindhu, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra of India and Pakistan rises in the Himalayas and flow southward to the Indian Ocean. They will join and they will directly go and join to Indian Ocean. Next, rivers Sitang, Salween and Irrawaddy of Myanmar flow into the Bay of Bengal. So Pacific Ocean river system. It includes the rivers of Amur, that is Russia, Huanghu, Xizang, Yangtze and Xikang of China, which drain eastward into the Sea of Okhotsk, the Yellow Sea and the China Sea respectively. Mekong and Minam of Indochina flow into the South China Sea. So student, in the Pacific Ocean river system is like, it includes the rivers of Russia, Huanghu, Xikang. These are the rivers. Okay, rivers name is there, students, and Xikang of China. Amur is of Russia, Huanghu, Xikang of China. These are the three rivers which are in China, which drain eastward, which moves to eastward into the Sea of Okhotsk, the Yellow Sea and the China Sea respectively. So Mekong and Minam of Indochina flow into South China Sea. The Indochina is nothing but the river flowing between India and China, that is Mekong and Minam, that will flow into South China Sea. So Arctic Ocean river system. It includes Ob, Yenisei and the Lena, which are the three biggest rivers of this group. These river rises in the central highlands, flow northwards and fall into the Arctic Ocean. Here students, Arctic Ocean river system is, it includes Ob, Yenisei and Lena, which are the three biggest rivers of this group. Ob, Yenisei and Lena. So these rivers rises in the central highlands and flow northwards and fall into the Arctic Ocean. You can see here the map is there for you, the rivers of Asia. Here students, you can see river system of Asia. Here That will be the key for you to get understand this map. That is, first, Indian Ocean river system. Here one is written road. This is the Indian river system is there here, and Pacific Ocean river, that is 2, Pacific Ocean system, and Arctic Ocean river system, that is 3. Here it is the river system, that is Obyo, NC, Lena is 3 biggest among this group. So Yamuna, Narmada, you can see Godavari, here it is there, Wanghu, Yajing, Sikyang, these are the rivers in part 2. Then inland river system, that is in 4th part, you can see here. So here now I will explain you about the 4th, that is inland river system, student. The major rivers which drain into inland seas, the Volga and the Ural, which flows into the Caspian Sea, the Amur Darya and Sair Darya, which flow into the Aral Sea. So in the 4th part, students, the rivers flows here is in the 4th part. So here that is Volga and Ural, and flow in the Caspian Sea. They used to flow in a Caspian Sea. So Amur Darya and Sair Darya, which flows into the Aral Sea. So now let us discuss about the agriculture of Asia. Agriculture is the most important occupation in Asia. Agriculture is the most important occupation in Asia. About 3/4 of people are engaged in agriculture activities. So agricultural products account for a major shares of Asia exports. So here they used to not only grow the crops and all, they also used to export the crops. There is a close relationship between the river system and the framing in Asia. Agriculture is largely practiced in river basin except in Siberia because of fertile soil and water supply through irrigation. Here you can see in the river basin, you can see the much more fertilization process is there because of the fertile of soil and the water supply through irrigation. Because of that, agriculture is largely practiced in the near the river basin. So in many Asian countries, most of the farmers use hand tools and animals for cultivation, isn't it, students? You can see the bullock cart is used. That bullock machines ploughing. For ploughing, we used to take that wood and with the help of bulls we used to fertilize the land. So for cultivation process we used to take animals like bull. So they follow the intensive framing. Other types of framing are also practiced, like example irrigation framing, dry framing, plantation framing, mixed farming, shift farming, etc. These are the type of farming we use, like irrigation farming, dry farming, plantation farming, mixed farming, shifting farming, etc. In recent years, modern implements, fertilizers, high-yielding varieties of seeds, etc. have become widespread in some countries. But still, there are many countries which have low yield per hectare due to many reasons. But still, many countries are there, students, which are low yield per hectare. So because of that, they don't have that much of agriculture productions. So now we got about the farming, how the process of farming, students. Now let us see the crops which grows in Asia. A variety of crops are grown in Asia, that is rice and wheat are the chief staple food crops. China and India are the leading producers of rice together. They produce more than 90% of the world rice. The two important countries, those who produce the rice is, students, China and India. So Japan, Bangladesh, Thailand and Southeast Asian countries are other major producers of rice. You can see, students, the others are Japan, Bangladesh, Thailand and Southeast Asian countries are the major producers of rice. So China, India, Pakistan and Russia are the leading wheat producing countries. China and India they are good for producing rice and also for wheat. Pakistan and Russia are the leading wheat producing countries. Most of the countries' natural rubber, tea come from Asia. Most of the world's natural rubber and tea that comes from the Asia only, student. Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand are the top natural rubber producers. Here, top natural rubber producer here in Asia continent is Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand. So the leading tea producing areas are China, Indonesia, India, Malaysia and Thailand. Leading among them are China, Indonesia, India, Malaysia and Thailand. So you can see the images there, students, to you. tea estate is there, coffee estate is there, isn't it? Is it visible to you, students? This is tea estate and it is coffee estate. So the other important crops of Asia include cotton, jute, fiber crops and sugarcane. Not only rice crops and all, students, they include cotton, jute, fiber crops and sugarcane also. China, India, Pakistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan are the leading producers of cotton. These are the countries of Asia which are leading for the production of cotton. Jute comes mainly from Bangladesh, China and India. From mainly these are the three countries from where we are getting jute. Okay, the sugarcane producing areas are in India. Second largest producer in the world is Indonesia, Philippines and Bangladesh. You can see here, students, sugarcane producing area in India is the second largest producer in the world. So Indonesia, Philippines and the Bangladesh. Okay, these are the others. So Asia is also famous for the production of coffee, cocoa, millets and variety of pulses, spices, oilseeds, etc. Not only in the productions of crops and all, students, in the field of varieties of pulses, spices and oilseeds, etc. These they used to grow in Asia continent. Third answer, lastic berry. Fourth, illandre space bidu, 3 lines bidu. So students, here climate and natural vegetation. Climate, as mentioned earlier, Asia is a very vast continent. It extends from the equator to the polar regions. As a result, Asia has a wide variety of climates. So Asia has some of the coolest lands in the world, that is polar. So as well as some of the hottest area, that is central and southwest. The driest as also the wettest. The varied climate of the continent is due to several factors such as size, latitudinal extent, physical features, monsoon winds, etc. This is all about the climate, students. Asia is a very vast continent. It extends from the equator to the polar region. As a result, Asia has a wide variety of climate. Because of that, we have the wide variety of climates. So Asia has some of the coolest lands in the world, like polar is the coolest in the world region, as well as the hottest area that is central and southwest, and the driest also the wettest we have. So the varied climate of the continent is due to several factors because of size, latitudinal extent, physical features, monsoon winds, etc. Because of these several factors, students, varied climate is there in Asia continent. So here you can see the mean annual temperature, distribution of annual temperature. Here the temperature diagram is there, map is there to you on the screen. Students, you can see here the red line that shows pink line and blue line that shows the coolest area, and temperature in January and temperature in July. Here temperature in January you can see that is in blue color, and which is in red in color, that is temperature in July. In January month, these areas were having, which is in blue in color, they have the temperature. Which are in pink color, they have the temperature in July month. Okay. So now let us see about temperature. It is various from one region to another region and from one season to another season. So in January, the southern countries are less cold, but the northern countries experience bitter cold. So in the month of January, the southern countries are less in cold, but the northern countries are better cold, bitter. That means very cold. So Verkhoyansk is in Siberia is the coolest place. Verkhoyansk is in Siberia. It is a place in Siberia and is the coolest place, which comes in Asia continent. So in July, a greater part of the continent is hot. In the month of July, a greater part of the continent is hot, with the exceptions of northern Siberia, and the high mountains are plateaus of Central Asia. In some places, the temperature rises beyond 40 degrees Celsius. In July, students, a great part of the continent is hot, with the exceptions of northern Siberia, and the high mountains of plateaus of Central Asia. Except these places The most of the great area of Asia is content is hot. So in some places the temperature is rises beyond 40 degrees Celsius. So now let us see the distribution of rainfall. Distribution of rainfall. Most of the rainfall in Asia is caused by summer southwest monsoon, a warm, moist winds. But the monsoon do not reach the central part of Asia, which is dry throughout the year. In winter, the westerlies cause rainfall in the Western Asian countries. Eastern parts of China, the Philippines, Malaysia, etc. receive rainfall from tropical cyclones. Students, you can see here the distribution of rainfall is most of the rainfall in Asia is caused because by this summer, that is southwest monsoon, a warm moist winds is there, but the monsoon do not reach the central part of Asia. Monsoon there in central part of Asia, monsoon season is not there, which is dry throughout the year. Sometimes it may be cool, it may be hot, but there will be not having any monsoon season. So because it is in between. So in winter the westerlies cause rainfall in the Western Asian countries. Eastern parts of China, the Philippines, Malaysia, etc. receive rainfall from tropical cyclones. They receive more rainfall. So here you can see distribution of annual rainfall is there for you students on the screen. Purple color that shows you above 300 inch. They receive more rainfall. And here dark color that receive more, that is above 300, and here the light purple is there, that is 200 to 300. So semester. So next 100 to 200, here they receive, that is of pinkish color is there. There they receive the 100 to 200. Next we have the orange color, that is 20 to 100, and the areas which is light in color, that is light pink, that shows they below 25 degree they are having a ring. So next we have the winter season. The period from October to March is winter is most parts of areas, as a great part of Asia lies in the northern hemisphere. The period from October to March is in winter, student, is most part of Asia, as a greater part of Asia lies in the northern hemisphere. The rays of the sun are slanting here, slanting in the northern hemisphere during this season. So most of the Asia experiences very low temperature and became extremely cold. Here students, the reason here winter season, in this season in between October to March, winter is most part of areas, as a great part of Asia lies in the northern hemisphere. Because of that, the rays of the sun are slanting in the northern hemisphere during this season. So most of the Asia experienced very low temperature and became extremely cool. So the atmospheric pressure in high in Central Asia and low over the Indian Oceans. So winds therefore blow from the land to the sea. Because of this, what happened? Winds therefore blow from the land to the sea. They are dry and do not cause rainfall. Hence, there is a little rainfall in winter. So now let us discuss about the summer season. In condition are reversed. During summer, it starts in April and ends in September. The sun shines vertically in the northern hemisphere. So most of the Asia has high temperature and it causes low pressure in Central Asia. Winds therefore blow from the sea towards the land. They cause heavy rainfall to most parts of the Asia. Here students, in summer, the conditions are reversed during the summer. It starts in April and ends in September. The sun shines vertically in the northern hemisphere. So most of the Asia has high temperature and it causes low pressure in Central Asia. Winds therefore blow from the sea towards the land. They cause heavy rainfall to most parts of the Asia. Because of this reason, in the summer season, most of the Asia they have a rainfall. So next, Verkhoyansk in Siberia has 51 degree Celsius and Yakni has 71 degree Celsius temperature in January. So Mausen Ram in Meghalaya, India receives highest rainfall in the world, that is 1187 centimeter. Okay. Now let us see the natural vegetations of south, that is of Asia. that is natural vegetation of Asia is closely associated with climate. So, but other factors such as landforms, soils and interference of human beings also have influence on types of vegetations and distribution. According to their interest, according to the fertility of soil, the crops will be grown. So, there is a great diversity in the vegetation of Asia. There is a great diversity. Differences is there, students. As you can see, in some fields they used to grow crops like maize, wheat, and some areas rice like this. So it can be divided into 7 major types as follows. Natural vegetation is further divided into 7 main types. So here you can see the images there. Map natural vegetation, students. Tundra vegetation. Tundra vegetation, that is in yellow color. So coniferous, that is in Russia area. Temperature grassland. Desert vegetation. Here you can see that is also in yellow color. So monsoon forest is there, purple color. Here they used to grow crops which can be grown in monsoon. So equatorial forest is there here. So Mediterranean forest is there in the light ways. You can't see much in Mediterranean. So these are the natural vegetation process, students, they are showing. Now let us discuss in detail. The tundra vegetation is found in a narrow belt along the Arctic coastal areas. This belt is mostly covered by snow and ice. So plant growth is limited and restricted to mosses and lichen. So here these mosses and lichens are the small plants. Here we can see it is available in tundra vegetation. You can see, students, and it is narrow belt. Because of that, what happened, Arctic coastal areas, this belt mostly covered with snow and ice. Because of that, we cannot grow much more vegetations. So coniferous forests are found to the south of the tundra and it is known as taiga forests. Here coniferous forest is in the south area of the tundra vegetation, and taiga, it is also known as taiga forest. Fir, spruce, larch and pine are the common trees found here. They are softwood trees. Here fir, spruce, larch and pine, these are the trees we can see in coniferous forest, and they are softwood trees. Taiga forest, you can see here, students, the image is there to you visible. The image is visible to you, students, that is the taiga forest. Okay, now let us discuss the third division of natural vegetation, that is temperate grassland. Steppes are found mainly to the west of Central Asia and in a fringe of deserts and semi-deserts. The low rainfall encourage low growth of grass. In these areas, students, rainfall is rare. Because of that, we can see the desert area is there. So low rainfall it's there means it encourage for low growth of grasses. So next we have, that is desert vegetations. Desert vegetation occurs in tropical and temperature deserts of Asia. Example, Arabia, Iran, Thar Desert, etc. Only some thorny plant, bushes and poor grass grow here. Near the oasis, date and palm trees are found here. In desert vegetation, students, it occurs in the tropical and temperature deserts of Asia like Arabia, Iran, Thar deserts. Only some thorny plants we can see here. Bushes are there. Poor grass grow here. Near the oasis, date and palm trees are found here. In the areas of Asia, that countries like, example, Arabia, Iran, Thar Desert, etc. Next we have monsoon forest. Monsoon forests are found in the south, southeast and east Asia. Since these regions has high temperature and sufficient rainfall, forests grow here. So teak, sal, banyan, bamboo, sandal and many varieties of hardwood trees are found here. They shed their leaves in autumn. So here, students, in monsoon forest we can find here, it is in south and southeast and east Asia. Since these regions have high temperature and sufficient rainfall, because of that forests grow here. So here in that forest we can see teak, sal, banyan, bamboos, sandal, and many varieties of hardwood trees we can see that is in monsoon forest areas. So they shed during the season, autumn season, the leaves will be shed. So here you can see the monsoon forest images there, students, on the screen. So next we have that is equatorial forest. Equatorial forests are mainly found in the East Asia and heavy rainfalls areas of the monsoon lands. It is a highly rainfall land. So they are evergreen and trees are quite tall. Here they are always green, students, and their trees we can see that is very tall. Means not very tall, quite they are tall. So mahogany, ebony, rubber, bamboo and rosewood are the main trees that grows in equatorial forest. The image is there on the screen for you, the equatorial forest regions. So students, this is the area. Here they found we can see East Asia and heavy rainfall areas is there. So next we have that is Mediterranean vegetations occurs in Southwest Asia. The important trees are olive, figs and oak. They are short trees. Shrubs also grow here. In Mediterranean vegetation, students, it occurs in Southwest Asia. The important trees that grows in Mediterranean vegetations are olive, figs and oak. So they are short trees. Shrubs also grow here in this Mediterranean vegetation. So this was all about, students, natural vegetations we have discussed here, and in the next class I will be going to continue important minerals of South Asia, important vegetations of Asia in the next class. If you have any doubt or any question relating to this topic, you can ask me in the WhatsApp or you can call me. First, and thank you for watching my video, students. The next will be continuing in the next class.